Andrew Wood was born on January 8, 1966 in Columbus, Mississippi. He was the lead singer and a songwriter for the Seattle band called Mother Love Bone. If he would have stayed alive, Pearl Jam would have never existed. Stone Gossard and Jeff Ament were the future members of Pearl Jam who were also in the band. Andy was the anti-grunge rock star. He was extroverted, flamboyant, extremely confident, charismatic, and just plain fun, not to mention a phenomenal singer. He was roommates and good friends with Chris Cornell from Soundgarden. Chris said of Andrew, "He was the only rock star I ever met." Mother Love Bone seemed to be on the road to superstardom, but Andy's drug problem put an end to those dreams. Instead of being the grunge David Lee Roth, and believe me, I mean that in the most flattering way, he's now a footnote in the Seattle movement. He died shortly before their debut album called Apple was released. A New York Times reviewer said Andrew could have been the first of the big league Seattle rock stars. He was heavily influenced by Elton John, Kiss, and Freddie Mercury. He was in a band with his brother as a teenager called Malfunction. He inspired many great songs to be written in tribute to him, including Wood by Alice in Chains, Say Hello to Heaven and Reach Down by Temple of the Dog, and Far Behind by Candlebox. If you haven't heard the song Chloe Dancer, Crown of Thorns by Mother Love Bone, do yourself a favor and listen to it. He never married and had no children. He went to rehab, but sadly it didn't work. He died in 1990 from hypoxic encephalopathy. That's when the brain is deprived of blood and oxygen. He had a heroin overdose and he arrived at the hospital comatose. Once he was taken off life support, he passed away. He was 24 years old. Mark Lanigan was born on November 25, 1964 in Ellensburg, Washington. He is most known for being the singer and founding member of the grunge band Screaming Trees. Their biggest hit was called I Nearly Lost You. He was also a member of the bands Mad Season and Queens of the Stone Age. He released 12 solo albums. He was friends with Kurt Cobain and Lane Staley. His 1990 song Down in the Dark features Kurt. He claimed he was an alcoholic at age 12. He struggled with alcohol and heroin. At one point, his arm was so damaged and infected from needles, doctors almost amputated it. He said he was homeless at one point with lice all over his body. He smoked enough crack to give someone a stroke. He smoked 4 packs of cigarettes a day to get his sandpaper voice. Of all people, he credits Courtney Love with saving his life. She paid for his rehab and rent when he was at a low point. He was sober when he died in February of 2022. He was 57 years old. Mike Starr was born on April 4th, 1966 in Honolulu, Hawaii. He was the original bass player for the Seattle band called Alice in Chains. He also helped write some of their songs. He was in the band for 6 years. He started out in 1983 in a band called Sato. His next band, called Gypsy Rose, included Jerry Cantrell. When Alice in Chains was looking for a bass player, Sean Kinney, their drummer, suggested Mike since he was dating Mike's sister Melinda. He played bass on Facelift, Dirt, and the EP Sap. He claimed he was fired in 1993 for his drug use, but the band said he had different priorities. He was probably the last person to see Lane Staley alive. Mike carried tremendous guilt about not calling 911 to get Lane the help he needed. Lane told him he'd never talk to him again if he called for help. He said the last words Lane said to him were, "Not like this. Don't leave like this." I remember watching him on VH1's Celebrity Rehab and Sober House. I had hope that he could kick his drug habit. He was arrested multiple times for various charges including DUI, reckless driving, vandalism, theft, and drug charges. He started playing with the band called Days of the New in 2010 and he planned on touring with them. He never married and had no children. He died in March of 2011 from a prescription drug overdose. He was 44 years old. Kristen Pfaff was born on May 26, 1967 in Buffalo, New York. She is most well known as the bass player and backup singer in the band with Courtney Love called Hole. She attended Boston College and graduated from the University of Minnesota. She taught herself to play bass guitar and formed a band called Janitor Joe in 1991. Eric and Courtney from Hole saw her play and asked her to join their band. She declined. Her dad later convinced her to give Hole a chance since they already had a record deal. Kristen appeared on the 1994 album called Live Through This. It will always be one of my favorite albums. She was close friends with Kurt Cobain. She used drugs a little before moving to Seattle, but she soon spiraled out of control. All of her friends were junkies. She decided to quit Hole and move back to Minneapolis. While in Seattle gathering her belongings in June of 1994, she overdosed on heroin and died. She was 27 years old.